Alright, how are we doing? My name's Ashton, and today what we're going to do is start off a mini series about my album collection. Um, I've got a fair few albums, a good chunk of them are by the same artists, and I've got a fair few albums that I've borrowed off people, but what I'm going to do in this particular series is only talk about the physical copies of albums that I have, so I can show them and recommend them to anyone who might want to listen to them. So to start off with, the first few albums that I'm going to do in this particular video are albums that I've only got one album from that band. Like for example, Alter Bridge's Blackbird. I've only got one Alter Bridge album, which is this one. I don't really listen to Alter Bridge all that much, but I know that Miles Kennedy and Mark Tremonti are both part of this band, and they're both very good artists. I've bought this album because it had Come to Life on it, and I found that song on one of the Guitar Heroes. I think it was World Tour. I'm not sure. Either way, I found it. I found that song, and I was like, "This is cool." You know, it's rock and it's heavy. It's in a low. It's in a that weird tuning I was talking about Nickelback using during Burn It to the Ground, where it's B-A-D-G-B-E. But that it's all of the strings are tuned half a step down again, so A sharp onwards. Yeah, and it's a really good song, Come to Life. I recommend you check it out. But it's also got Ties That Bind on it as well, which is another great song by Alter Bridge. These are probably the only two songs that I actually do listen to by Alter Bridge. But that being said, I do recommend them to anyone who wants to listen to them because they are a great band and they come up with great music. They're four great musicians. Yeah, check it out. Alter Bridge's Blackbird. Next, we've got Block Party's Silent Alarm. Now, this album I already had digitally downloaded, and it's a really good album. It's great. I don't usually listen to Block Party all that much, although when I'm with people who don't tend to listen to the heavier side of things, this is a great album to recommend because it's indie punk? Question mark. The guitar tone is very, very punk. It's very, very distorted, all treble, no middle, no bass. It's just straight up just guitar noise. But it's very good. This is the album with Helicopter on it, which is probably Block Party's biggest song. At least it's the one I've heard the most on the radio, on games like Burnout and stuff like that. But it's also got Positive Tension, Banquet, She's Hearing Voices, The Pioneers, and plenty of other good songs on this album. And I've heard that their live shows are also really good. So, yeah, Block Party's Silent Alarm. Check it out. The next album is a greatest hits album by Bon Jovi. Because, well, do I really need to explain myself? Bon Jovi's greatest hits. Greatest songs by Bon Jovi. Living on a Prayer, You Give Love a Bad Name, It's My Life. Probably my three favourites. There we are. Have a Nice Day, great song. Wanted Dead or Alive. I didn't actually know that was by Bon Jovi at first. I thought that was a cover. But yes. Bad Medicine, we weren't born to follow. Not we were, we weren't. I'll Be There For You, Born to Be My Baby, Bed of Roses, Who Says You Can't Go Home, Lay Your Hands on Me. Always. Separate tracks. In These Arms, What Do You Got, and No Apologies. I don't really think I need to put any more thing into that. It's a great album, lots of great songs. Check it out. Bon Jovi's greatest hits. Or just check out the original albums that they had these songs on. You know, check out Bon Jovi. They're great. You know, fantastic. Up next we have A Day to Remember's Bad Vibrations. Great album. Highly recommend you check it out. And I should explain at this point, like I said, I'm only talking about albums that I have one physical copy of in this video. I do have What Separates Me From You and City of Akala as well, but I borrowed those albums off a friend. But I still listen to them quite a lot. They got great songs on it as well. But this one in particular has Paranoia, Exposed, Bullfight, and Turn Off the Radio, which are four great songs by A Day to Remember, and I highly recommend that you check them out, give them some comments, give them some likes, all of that good stuff. A Day to Remember's Bad Vibrations. Check it out. This next album I found in Bernardo's, which is a charity shop in the UK, for 50 pence. and I could not believe my eyes when I set my eyes on this, that they're selling this for 50 pence. It's Dr. Dre's 2001, probably one of the most influential hip-hop albums of all time, for 50 pence in a charity shop. What a steal. What a steal. It's got The Watcher, it's got Still Dre, Big Egos, Explosive, What's the Difference, Forgot About Dre, The Next Episode, Let's Get High, Murder Inc., Education, which is a skit, and every time I listen to it, it makes me laugh. It's so funny. What else is there? Act Right. Yeah, it's just such a, 50 pence. 50 pence. 50 pence. Like, what? Great, right? Fantastic. Check it out, Dr. Dre's 2001. Next album is a very different vibe from the last one. This is by a band called Emir. It's called Look at Yourself. I love Emir. They've got some ridiculous deathcore energy. Like it's so pummelingly heavy. And while Frankie Palmieri doesn't necessarily have what elitists would consider a good scream, it's sort of, you can hear it's very strained, and he's probably doing it wrong, and he's probably hurting himself while doing it. That being said, it's nasty. It's a nasty scream. And this album is great. It's got You Asked For It, Shinjuku Masterlord, which as far as I know isn't about Shinjuku. Smokey, double drop A on a 9-string guitar. Like, barely audible. Love it. Absolutely love it. Natural Born Killer, Flag of the Beast, which was the first song I heard on this album. Sorry, no, I lie. Iceman Confessions was actually the first song I heard on this album. I wasn't too fussed on it. And then I heard Flag of the Beast, and I was like, okay, I might buy that album. It's got Russian Hotel Aftermath, Turtle in a Hair Machine, Torch, and Gucci Prison. It's a banger album. Emir's Look at Yourself, check it out. Next, we have an album that my little brother bought me for my birthday a couple of years ago. I'm not sure. I will admit it's not one of my favourite albums, but at the same time, it's still a good album. And for people who like rock, that don't really like the heavy metal side, but still like rock music, this is a good album for you. It's Foo Fighters, In Your Honor. Now, this album is technically 2 albums. It's got 21 songs on it. The first 11 are more rock based, and the last 10 are very calm and all sorts of things. And I don't really like the second album because it's just not my vibe personally. But the first part of the album is great. It's got No Way Back, which is a great Foo Fighters song. Best of You, which is one of the all-time classics. Dead on Arrival, or DOA. Hell, the last song, Free Me, Resolve, The Deepest Blues Are Black, End Over End, and The Sign. Check out Foo Fighters, In Your Honor. It's very, very good. And thank you, Ethan, for buying me that album. Next up, we have another charity shop steal. I don't really listen to this band all that much, although they were definitely a massive part of my childhood. My mum likes these guys. It's another greatest hits album, and it's Kaiser Chiefs, Souvenir. 50 pence again. I love charity shops, they're fantastic. You can get some great steals. And it's got all the songs you've ever heard by Kaiser Chiefs. It's got Oh My God, Ruby, I Predict a Riot, Never Miss a Beat, Everything is Average Nowadays, Every Day I Love You Less and Less, and Kind of Girl You Are. It's brilliant. Such a great album. Again, not usually my sort of vibe, but it's more childhood for me, this, yeah. Kaiser Chiefs, Souvenirs, check them out, or check out the albums they were originally on. Just check out Kaiser Chiefs, they're great. They're great. Another greatest hits album. I'm not sure whether to be ashamed I like these guys or not. No. I'm not ashamed. No, we preach openness about music on this channel, so no, I'm not ashamed. This is Limp Bizkit's greatest hits. Oh yes, again, childhood, but I love Limp Bizkit. I love Limp Bizkit. It's great, man. It's got their cover of Faith by Wham or George Michael, one of the two, which is so bad, like they completely ruined the song. But they ruined it so bad, I actually quite like it. It's like a... It's just funny because he can't sing, Fred Durst. He absolutely can't sing. He really can't. But that's what makes it funny. It's great. Just check it out. It's funny. Faith, Nookie, which is it's very strange tuning. Wes Borland originally used a bass and tuned it to like F sharp, A or something. A weird tuning. Yeah. Check that out. Break Stuff, one of my all-time favorite songs. I love Break Stuff. It's got that punching nu metal energy that makes you want to break stuff. End Together Now with Method Man. It's a good song. It's not a metal song, but it's a good rap song. It's definitely good. Take a Look Around, which was the soundtrack to one of the Mission Impossibles, I believe. My Generation, all-time classic. Rollin', probably Limp Bizkit's biggest song by far. And if you haven't heard Rollin', then you're probably lying to yourself. Rollin', 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 that song. Yeah, that song. My Way, great song. Then it's got a bunch of other songs. It's got Behind Blue Eyes, and I don't really get why that got famous. It's just a bit meh. If the lyrics were better thought out, then yeah, it probably would be a good song, but whatever. But it's also got a bonus track at the end called The Truth, which I'd never heard before, but it's got some good drop B goodness in it, and it's chunky, and it's punchy, and it's very nu metal. And yeah, it's really good. Check it out. Limp Bizkit's Greatest Hits. This next album was one of the first albums I ever bought. Not the first, but one of them. It was quite early on in the thing. It's by a band called Mudvayne LD50. It's got a really strange album cover. But yeah, Mudvayne's LD50 is a great album. It's very experimental, and it was when it came out, everyone went mental for it. It was great. There's probably only 3 songs I actually listened to on this album, but 2 of them I listen to on a pretty much daily basis. Dig, apparently a nu metal classic, even though technically Mudvayne aren't really nu metal at all. They're funk metal. But that being said, Dig, which has one of the best bass lines in the world. Internal Primates Forever, which is it's just chunky. It's chunky. Good song, chunky. And Death Blooms, which is a great song. It's very well thought out. It's got a little bit of time signature changing in there, and it's got some fantastic bass work. I mean, this entire album has fantastic bass work. Ryan Martinet is a monster. He's doing this, and Ryan Martinet, you are a legend, sir. If you watch this video, very unlikely, but you are a legend, Ryan Martinet. Interview? No. Yeah, check it out. Mudvayne's LD50. Next, we have an album that I bought very recently. Again, in a charity shop. Not the same charity shop, but the same branch, Bernardo's. Check out Bernardo's. They're good. All goes to a good cause. It's by a band called Muse. It's Absolution. I've heard a lot of Muse over the years. They were a big part of my childhood. Knights of Sidonia was on Guitar Hero 3, which is still probably my favourite Muse track. And you got Uprising and Hysteria, and that's why I bought this album, because I noticed that Hysteria was on it. It's track number 8. There was another track on there that very, very, very much surprised me, though. I wasn't expecting it. It's a song called Stockholm Syndrome, and it's a Muse song, but it's quite heavy. It's quite like yeah, honestly, it's so heavy that one of the all-time great metal YouTubers, Nick Nocturnal, check him out, did a cover of it in the 500 heaviest riffs of all time video, which was like an hour long, and it was there because it's heavy. It's great. Honestly, check it out. Muse Absolution, very good. And check out Nick Nocturnal. He's a great YouTuber. Highly recommend. This next album is one of my childhood albums as well, and I picked it up in HMV because I had to have it. It's such a great album. It's Nightwish's Once. Now, the first 4 songs on this album were like my entire childhood. Really, really good songs. Dark Chest of Wonders, which is my favourite Nightwish song of all time. It's great, it's heavy, it's operatic, it's got all the keys and stuff, it's fantastic. Wish I Had an Angel, which has got more of a pulsing beat to it. It's definitely got like a sort of industrial vibe going on, which is very good. Check it out. Nemo, which is Latin, or I think it's Latin. It's a specific language, which means nobody. I'm not sure what the song is about, but it's very, very sad. And if you like sad music, then check it out. And like, I'm not trying to use that as an insult. There are people out there that just like listening to sad music, and that's fair enough. I'm not one of them. I personally, sad music makes me sad. But check it out, it's a good song. And Planet Hell, which is a great song. It's very heavy, and it's got all the keys and stuff as well. But when I bought it again, I listened to the whole album through, and I found another two songs that I was quite interested in. Track number 8 is Romanticide, which is a very heavy Nightwish song. Very heavy. It's got all the double bass. They've even got a breakdown, which I wasn't expecting. And another song, which was showed to me originally. I'd skipped over it when I first listened to the album, but I was shown back to me by my wife's little brother. And it's called Ghost Love Score. And it's like nearly 11 minutes long, this song. But it's just composed so brilliantly. It's got the metal bits, it's got the orchestral bits and stuff like that. And like Nightwish have gone down a very classically orientated route lately, where they're doing a lot of classical music that just so happens to have heavy metal guitar in it. But like Ghost Love Score was like the start where people started going, oh, that's fantastic. It's good. It's really, really good. Check it out. Nightwish's Once. Next album. Another greatest hits album, because your greatest hits albums are great, aren't they? Yeah. A band that I don't listen to on the regular, but when I do listen to them, I absolutely love it. It's Pantera's Reinventing Hell, the best of Pantera. And it's got all the great songs on there. Cowboys from Hell, Domination, the LP version, which I'm not sure why that makes a difference, but yeah. Cemetery Gates, Mouth for War, Walk, Effing Hostile, I'm Broken, 5 Minutes Alone. This is just a great album. I don't really need to explain it. Reinventing Hell, the best of Pantera. Check it out. Rest in peace, Dimebag Darrell. Right, moving on. Another band that I don't really listen to all that often, but this album is very, very good. It's got some good songs on it. Parkway Drive's Ire. I-R-E, yes. This album has Vice Grip, Crushed, Bottom Feeder, The Sound of Violence, which is really, really heavy, and Dedicated. Dedicated is my favourite Parkway Drive song. It's such a great, chunky tune. And it's got a breakdown at the end. It's great. You know, it's Parkway Drive are great. They're a great metalcore band, and you should check them out. I highly recommend them. I don't listen to them that much, but you should. They're good. If you like metalcore, you'll like Parkway Drive's Ire. Check them out. More greatest hits, but this is one of my favourite artists of all time. The reason I bought this particular greatest hits album is because, in my personal opinion, this band doesn't release good albums. They release good songs. So when you buy the greatest hits album, you get all the good things in one place, so there's no need to go out and buy 750 albums. So it's Primus Singles, made to look like a pack of cheese, obviously. Yeah, this is great. 16 slices of creamy audio goodness. And 100% genuine, fully remastered, pre-packaged cheese products. I love looking at this album. It's great, and it's got loads of different songs and the years it was released, and it goes in chronological order as well. To Defy the Laws of Tradition, John the Fisherman, Too Many Puppies, all released in 1990, minus 8 years when I was born. Jerry Was a Race Car Driver, great song. Those Damn Blue Collar Tweakers, and Tommy the Cat. 3 of my favourite Primus songs, all released in 1991, which I believe was Sailing the Seas of Cheese album. Good, yeah, check it out. What else has it got? Wynonna's Big Brown Beaver. What a tune! The bass riff for that, I've tried learning it. It's so hard. It's so quick. He just... Les Claypool is one of the best bassists in the world. Again, check out Les Claypool. He's doing other things as well. He's got Les Claypool's Duo de Twang, which is him and a guitarist, and they play like a country funk, question mark? Yeah, I think. And they've also got the Lennon and Claypool Delirium, or Claypool and Lennon Delirium. He got together with Sean Lennon and made some music, basically. But yes, check out... Oh, and Shake Hands with Beef. Probably the most radio-friendly Primus song. That being said, though, it is great. Highly recommend it. Primus singles. Just check out Primus. Primus are great. Primus are awesome. I really wish I could go see them live, but they never tour. Sad. Well, they never tour in the UK anyway. They are touring this December, but in order for me to get a ticket to go see them, it's £75 for the show. And then for a hotel for the night in the middle of London, it's £120 a night. It's ridiculous, man. I don't want to pay, £195 to go see Primus, and then have to pay another £75 so my wife can come with me. It's so much money, and I don't have it. I'm a student, innit? That being said, though, do check out Primus. They are great. One of my favourite bands, and I think personally in the metal world they are a bit underrated. They are incredibly weird, though, so I do get that. Another album, I believe I found this in my mum's attic, and she said I could have it because she doesn't listen to it anymore. Never mind that word. Here's the Sex Pistols. I think it's the only album that the Sex Pistols ever released. It was great. It's great. It's got Pretty Vacant, EMI, Anarchy in the UK, another song from Guitar Hero 3. Guitar Hero 3 comes up a lot in my music taste. It basically explains the whole thing. But yeah, this is the epitome of punk. It really is. It's punk, Nobody knows how to play the instruments, and the dude can't sing. Fantastic. Never mind the blah blah blah. Check out here's the Sex Pistols. Check them out. Very, very good. Next album was also a recent buy by a band that I really, really like. It did take me a while to get into them because this band is properly heavy. But I remember when they released a specific song that was going around YouTube for a while. When he does his really, really low scream, people were like, is that pitch shifted? Or, it's not. He's just a big, beefy bloke, he's massive. It's Slaughter to Prevail's Colostom. What an album. The first 3 songs, Bonebreaker, Demolisher, and Baba Yaga, are great. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend it. Agony was the first song I actually heard off this album. But because they released that as the first single, I believe. My favourite song on this album has to be, though, Bratva. It's just chunky. It's great. Check it out, honestly. And check out the video for Demolisher. Check out people's reactions to the video for Demolisher. He does that really, really deep scream, and people are like, it's mad. He has a very, very deep scream. It's mad. It will be. I'm gonna make a small claim. I think it's gonna be a while before we find anybody with the same power in the baritone screaming voice. It's gonna be a while till we see another person like that, I think. But yeah, check them out. Slaughter to Prevail's Colostom. Very good album. Next album. I bought this album because I was incredibly surprised by what I heard. One of my childhood bands, Pop Punk, decided they were going to make a different direction for this particular album. I believe a lot of the members left, and so it was only the lead singer and the guitarist that stayed. And they were like, well, if it's just us two now, why don't we make a metalcore album? And people who joined went, yeah, sound excellent. It's Sum 41's Order in Decline, yes. Now this album, I remember hearing that Sum 41 have released a new album. I thought, I'll give a listen to their singles and stuff. And I heard 45, A Matter of Time. And they've gone from playing an E standard to drop C sharp, which isn't a huge difference, but at the same time, they make it sound like a huge difference. They've gone from being that bunch of kids making rock music in the 90s to what I would consider a fairly decent metalcore band. Turning Away, Out for Blood, A Death in the Family, 45, Eat You Alive, and the People verses. This album is great. Check it out, honestly. Sum 41, Order in Decline. You will be surprised if you listen to Sum 41 in the old days and you listen to this. You will be very surprised. It's great. There is no screaming in it. It's still Derek Whibley, still the lead singer of Sum 41, but they added in some double bass pedals in there and a little bit of a chunky down tune. Check it out. And the guitar solo as well in Out for Blood is one of the best guitar solos I've heard in a while. Really, really good. Check it out. Sum 41's Order in Decline. And now, to round off this video, this is the last album I have, of which I only have one album from the artist. And it brings it round in a nice way, because the first band I talked about was Alter Bridge, who has the guitarist Mark Tremonti. And Mark Tremonti has his own solo project, Tremonti, and this album's called Cauterize. Now, I listened to this album the first time round, and I added all of the songs to my favourites playlist, and then forgot how all of them sounded. Apart from one. But this one song is one of my favourite songs to listen to of all time. Again, it's only in drop C sharp, but it's chunky. It's called Flying Monkeys. Chunky Flying Monkeys. Nice. Yeah, Flying Monkeys is it's slow and it's sludgy, but his voice is great. Mark Tremonti's voice is so good. It really, really is. I believe he was also in Creed. But don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But yes, Tremonti's Cauterize. Check it out. It's very, very good. It's metalcore without the screaming. Great, great stuff. So yes, that's all of the albums that I have, of which I only have one album from that particular artist. I do have certain digital copies of albums from some of those artists, but, well, I can't show them to you, so yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me today. Today I talked about all of the albums that I just talked about, and yeah, have a good day, night, morning, evening, wherever you may be on the face of the earth. See you next time. Ta-ra.